إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Brothers and sisters, one idea which is very central to Iman and believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the idea of Tawakkul, placing our trust in Him. And this is so central that every Jummah, for example, we say, وَنَتَوَكَّلُ عَلَيْهِ, I say it on behalf of all of us. We say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, we are placing our trust in you or in Him. Every night before we retire to sleep, when we are doing our last salah, in Witr, when we do the dua, qunut, we say, وَنُؤْمِنُ بِكَ وَنَتَوَكَّلُ عَلَيْكَ. And we believe in you, O my Creator, and we place my trust in you. It is so central that in Quran it's been mentioned over 50 times. The word tawakkul, the concept of tawakkul, and the idea that we should take Allah as our wakil and nobody else as wakil on whom we should place our trust. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibn Qayyim rahmatullah alayhi says that tawakkul is the central idea of Iman. Absence of tawakkul and trust means no Iman, he says categorically. But how do we understand it? What does it mean for us, for you and me? How do we use it? How do we grow in our tawakkul and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This is what I've been reflecting over. And because it is so important that we must know what it is and must learn to have that trust. I get the sense that often it is used normally in the situation of where we want to say we are helpless. We can't do anything. Let's trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's beyond my control. It's in His hand, whatever. Of course, everything is in His hand. But a sense of where, just like sabr we use in the sense of a kind of a fatalistic attitude that we develop. Whilst tawakkul is mentioned when we study the Quran and its practice and its instruction more in the sense of getting that vital power and energy that is required to be proactive, not giving up, to be able to do what you need to do, not just leave to Allah. If He wants to do it, it would happen. I trust Allah. But more often in this sense, in fact, all the time in this sense, where it is said, believer, go forward, overcome your fear, trust Allah. He will see you through. He has your back. The word tawakkul comes from the root word of wakala, which means to rely upon when you're undertaking something, to depend upon, to know that He has my back. He will not let me down, and hence do what I have to do. This is a positive sense. So 3 meanings, very briefly, that I think we activate with regards to tawakkul. It will give us more energy and guide us through in our life in a better way. First, we should use tawakkul to take those big steps we are required to take in life. But we feel afraid. We're not sure it will work out. We will achieve our goal. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always asking us to take those big steps. So we have to take those big steps. And that's a sense that comes through in the Quran as well. When, for example, narrating the time when believers worried, scared of the power of the Jabbarun, the Fir'aun and his army and might was. When Musa alayhi salam and Harun alayhi salam, the two messengers, it says, قال رجلان يخافون من الذين يخافون أنعم الله عليهم. But when the two men from amongst all those who were afraid, they said, ادخلوا عليهم الباب فإذا دخلتموه فإنكم غالبون. No, enter through this door. And when you will enter, فإنكم غالبون, you will prevail. وعلى الله فتوكلوا إن كنتم مؤمنين. And place your trust on Allah if you have belief, if you're believers. So they're scared. All these people, Bani Israel, wanted to have a way out, but it was said, no, do enter, you will prevail by the prophets, and trust Allah if you have the belief. If you do believe in Him, وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَتَوَكَّلُوا إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. So again you can see tawakkul has been used depicting a situation where believers had to take on the might and power of Fir'aun. You must enter through this door. Regarding Prophet ﷺ himself, after Uhud, and many left halfway, the munafiqun and so on, and then a commentary was made by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on that debacle, as it were, the second ghazwa of Uhud. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, you should forgive them, do consult them, but whenever, like in this situation, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Once you've decided this matter, this thing has to be done, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ, whenever you decide, فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Then trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So trust begins when we have made the decision, an intention to take on that big thing, to take on that job, that work, that task that needs to be done. And there are plenty in the Quran. But today Muslims, you and I, are being asked to respond to the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's the first meaning. Second is, in matters of awamir wa nahi, ibadat, the day-to-day living of Islam, the duties, we do regardless of apparent loss or ineffectiveness or not making progress. We trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His commands and His prohibitions, awamir wa nahi, we observe regardless. That is second meaning of real trust and tawakkul in Allah. We quite often just give up on many of those things. And in some of those things we see apparent loss. And perhaps we will not be better off going this way, which Allah has asked us to do. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِاللَّهِ فَنِعْمَ الْمَوْلَى وَنِعْمَ النَّصِيرُ. And hold on to Allah. Hold on to Allah. He is the best of your protector. And He is the best of helpers. He would help. With that idea, we hold on to that path. And finally, we should use it to leave people and matters which is not worthwhile to pursue any further. And this is a good part of a believer's Islam. It's in Hadith, but more importantly, in the sense that we tie our camels, of course. You know, beautiful description of tawakkul has been given by the Prophet ﷺ. When he was asked a man came and asked that should I tie the camel and then trust, or utliquha and then trust, leave him and trust. Prophet said, "I'qilha wa tawakkal." Tie the camel, then trust. So do what we need to do with regards to people, matters that we need to attend to, but we can do at a certain point. After that, it becomes waste of energy. You can't change. Even our children, we have only so much control and so much we can expect and demand. Colleagues, family, spouse. So in all of these relationships and matters, we should realize that He is the disposer of my affairs. I do what I need to do, tie my camel, do my thing, do my best I can do, and then tawakkul Allah. It will de-stress ourselves, save us a lot of unnecessary fights, settling of scores, and waste of energy. So I think with these three ideas of what tawakkul really means, we can all, inshallah, do better. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with the ni'mah of tawakkul, trusting Him, and through that grow in our iman and grow in our lives.